I finished quilting my lines all in my quilt here, just across, and I've started quilting my vertical tan bits here. And as you can see, hopefully you can probably see that. Hopefully, I'm using a stencil. I've done this before on previous videos, and what I've done is I have found actually the middle of my quilt, which is funny. It's this maroon strip there. Isn't that funny? I guess that was the middle when I turned it around. I don't know. That's the middle. I guess there's what, 37, 36, so that's a 16th strip or something like that. So I find the middle of my quilt because I have a quilt stencil here. If you can see that, it's a feather and like a cable stencil. So what I do is I find the middle of a strip that I want to quilt, and I go from the middle. And then I go from the middle on out. I'll go from the middle on out, and then I come back and I'll turn this around, and I will make a mirror image of the stencil going that way. So hopefully, let me just see if this is, yeah, hopefully you can see this. I've already started. So what I've done is I've found the middle, and I've stenciled my pattern this way, going that way, up the strip. And then I'll come back, and I just do it in increments, and I'll tell you why with this fabric. I'll just turn this around, this going this way, and I'll just mirror image it. I'll turn it like that, and then this design right in the middle, so your eye sees the feathers going this way. Now the feathers are going that way. So that will be my design. You could do it just all the way down, you know, starting at the top or wherever and going all the way down, just one, da, 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 da. But I quite like the fact that you know, your interest, you're thinking, oh yeah, that's flipped. It's only halfway going up and halfway going down. So that's what I do. Now I have successfully stitched this out. I'm using a heavier thread. I've changed my thread from the Aurifil 50 weight to my my connecting threads. I believe it's 40 weight. Because it's a little bit of a heavier thread, and I really want my quilting to show up on this rather plain quilt. So I'm using a heavier thread. Now I'm just going from the I'll show you here. I'll smooth all this out. So I've done one. Now you won't be able to see it because I can hardly see it. Ugh. I use this, as you've seen before, I use what's called Quilt Pounce by Hancy. Now it's a chalk powder that you fill into this pad. I think I've done it a dozen times before, and if you can go back to some of my videos, you can see how I do it. But what it is, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is it gets all over the place. So I have it in a Ziploc bag, inside a Ziploc bag. This is how it comes. It's a white powder. And it's sort of sticky. It's not sticky, but it sort of gets all over everything. It brushes off very, very good. So but it's a little bit of a mess. I have to go wash my hands. You fill this, and I like to have quite a lot because I use quite a lot, and I'll show you why. If you can see this coming out, I'm filling this little reservoir with the powder. You have to really Ziploc that bag up there. Let's see, it's good. And then you just sort of push it into the reservoir there and put the cap on it tightly. It brushes off. It brushes off lovely. But it brushes off of black. It brushes off. This is tan. This is a nice golden tan, as I said, like a pinky tan, as I was when we chose it together. And I did it. I'm real proud of myself. But it really doesn't show up. My quilting really, I should say the powder really takes some, there's something there, really takes some doing to show up. So what I do, is I just do it a whole bunch. I just do it a lot. And I really, really, really am careful. I'm just quilting this. If I had a fabric like a dark brown, I'll just show you. See this dark brown? Look at that. You can just see that, and you could just, if you had a fabric, most of these colors, it just shows up beautifully, and it brushes right off. Brushes right off. With a bit of paper, it brushes off when you do it. But with this creamy fabric, it sort of takes an awfully lot to see. And I figured out sometimes I have to turn off my light and I have to have like a side lighting. I can do it, but I'm only doing it in small little increments. And isn't that funny? I cut this piece. It's a little bit too narrow, but it's okay. It fits this stencil pretty good. That's just a fluke. Again, I've been doing this. I guess I can eyeball it, or in my brain, it's there. So I use this stencil, this sort of cable, and what you do with this pad, this is not for beginner quilters, obviously. This is free motion quilting. You can see the chalk going all over. You just really scrub it. Now, when I pull this stencil out, you're not going to see the white. And I'm hardly going to. But I can sort of see it. I try to really pounce this white chalk onto basically the white fabric. They have a blue powder. I've used it, and it didn't come off. It didn't come off. Sorry, Hancy. I wanted to love it because obviously, you have white on white. You can't see the powder. So I'm like, oh, I got the blue powder, thinking it's going to brush off. It brushed off mostly, but there was a little palest ghost of pale blue. I'm like, well, that stunk. So I've always just used the white and absolutely persevered, really pouncing that powder into these crevices of this stencil. Oops, that's popped up. And let me just see now. Yeah, now, can you see that? You probably can't see that. No, you can't see that. But there is a faint line. There's my feathers. And it's really funny, like different lighting. So I'll be able to just follow that along. And actually, at one point, I have this right next to me. And I'm like, oh, where do I go? And I just sort of follow it. I can see it, but it's not like in glaring, which is a good thing because you don't want the lines to show. You don't want your markings to show. You want your stitches to show. So I persevere with this method. I like it. For this quilt, it's the cream, the white on the cream. It's really effective. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's only that length there. So I can persevere just doing, oh, sorry, mate. Just doing this section at a time. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to finish up. I have some kind of stencil for in here on this one. I don't know what I'm going to put in that. Maybe just a little braid or something. And then I bind my quilt, and it is done. I like that though. It's pretty. So I'll be showing you my my final quilt. Hopefully it will turn out. Okay, so what I've done, I've come over to my machine, and I have Maxwell holding. It's okay. Yeah, I have Maxwell holding the camera. Why do I have to say your name?
Yeah.
Because you're my camera. Now, yeah, you see what I mean about like it being so difficult. But I've turned, actually what I've done is I've turned off all the lights, and there's a faint design that I'm going to start stitching. It's so difficult to see this white. Go back. Maybe you can see that. It is not easy at all to see this, but I'll persevere. I come down here, and I can just make out. I'm doing obviously free motion quilting stitches around these feathers on that very faint line. Now there are other ways to mark. You could pencil mark and then wash it all out. I like the chalk. 90% of the time, it's just lovely. You can see, I go around my feathers a couple times actually. Coming down here, I can just see now. It's interesting because I have all of my lights in my sewing room pretty much turned off, and I'm just each half inch I'm seeing in front of me. where to do this free motion quilting. So again, not for beginners, but I just wanted to make this slightly more interesting. Now, if you remember, I stopped my quilting stitch there on that like channel. So I'll go down and I'll join that stitch, and then I'll go backwards, and I can see where I'm going. I'll go backwards up that channel. Oh no, I made a mistake. I gotta rip that out. Here's my channel. Here's my channel. Look, I made a mistake. So I'll just rip that out, and I'll come from that point on and then go around, because I thought I was going backwards. So there's that one. I'll just go down. I'll rip that one out, and then I'll come back, and I'll just follow this channel, and I'll join that one. You see? And I'll go back, sort of going backwards. The other one I made a mistake. I'll just rip that one, and then I'll come to this one, and then you can see I finished quilting my feather and cable quilting pattern here. Oh my word, what a pain in the neck. I could hardly see it, and I just sort of fudged it a little bit as I was going along, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's not perfect at all. But remember I said I was going to do something decorative? Forget it. I did a straight stitch. I was thinking about it. I do stuff really simple. I just do a lot of straight stitches, but you can make a straight stitch look nice. You see that? I did a double straight stitch. I don't want. I just kept going along. I did it in the ditch over there. I did it on the actual strips. I did it on the actual strips here, and then I did it in that sashing. So it looks a little bit decorative, and it's sort of like vertical. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, because people go, oh wow, that's really something, but that's like just a mess over there. But like, because I did that, oh my goodness, isn't she a good quilter? So now all I have to do is my border. And again, if you can see here, I just did the sashing two decorative lines up there. I think I'm literally just going to do in the middle here, and then over here with maybe one there. I'm getting getting a bit fed up. Not that I've worked on this all that long, but I want to get it done. I want to bind it. I don't know what I'm going to bind it with. Probably like a brown or a burgundy. Or I may. I don't know. I'll have to see. The binding is so important to a quilt, to frame your work. But now all I have to do is that checkerboard border. Now, if I was really motivated, I would go from here to there, there to there, there to there. But I'm not. I'm not motivated at all. And I think less will be more on the border of the checkerboards. I think if I just do down the middle here and there, I might not even, and I don't think even a decorative stitch, because it might take away literally from the burgundy checkerboards. But then one here, I'll just stitch in the ditch along there, and maybe a decorative stitch there to copy these stitches here, these straight stitches. But I'm real pleased. I'm real pleased with my quilt. I do love my feather quilting thing. The white on the white, or the white on the cream paint in the neck, and as you saw, let me see. Oh yeah, here. Oh, sorry, I juggled my camera. Here is the mirror image. You see, this is the middle of the quilt. So I did that one that way, and then I did that one that way. Do not look closely at the stitches, because I really did have to fudge some of them. Anyway, that's my quilting. That's my quilt. The next time you see it, it will be finished. And that is the saga of my jelly roll quilt. Yeah, I'm really pleased. One jelly roll, about 3.5 yards of tan, and maybe a yard of the burgundy for the checkerboard. So I hope you've enjoyed following me along with my quilt. Let me just see my oh, that's the back. Oh, it's upside down. Yeah, the backing is real pretty colonially brownish, sort of a browny gray, a gray brown. But I'm not bothered with that. It sort of has this rosy pink. When I'm choosing fabrics, I try to look at the smallest little nuances of a fabric, and this has this sort of burgundy pink hint of color on this little boat here, the train, and I think that equates well with the sort of the burgundy of my border. So even though, you know, one is not being next to the other, it complements it if it does turn it around, as you can see, or I think it does. So there's my quilt, and I'll show you when it's all done. So here's my finished quilt. It actually didn't turn out as colonial. It is slightly country though, but I like it. I think it's so pretty. It's delightful. I like the checkerboard. I love checkerboard. Don't you love checkerboard? I think it just makes a super border so very easy, and I hope I explained it well enough in the video how to make it. Just 4 patches. Again, hopefully this is in focus. I'll come around here. Just the jelly roll strips sewed together. You have to be real careful, but these are lovely and straight, really nice and straight. My backing, which hopefully it's in focus, I'm not quite sure, is my lovely my brown sort of colonial, very simple quilt. Not a lot to it. Jelly roll, I keep saying just a jelly roll, but I think very effective. You could make this is, as I said, it's a sort of a narrower twin, long enough, but you could make those much wider if you wanted, and you could just make this as wide as you want, but there's enough of the jelly rolls that make it like make it nice. It can make your borders wider, but this is a decent sized quilt that I'm real thrilled with. Hopefully, let me just see if I can just get this. I don't know if I can. If you can see the up close of the quilting, my feather quilting. I had a bear of a time trying to do that. If that's fuzzy, I'll try to take some still pictures of it. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work out. I don't know. Still trying to work out the silly camera. Anyway, there's my quilt, and I thank you very much for coming along on my just the day in the life of Jean, making a pretty little quilt here. So again, I thank you very much, folks. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch me. Okay, see you later. Bye.